Hi, this is Susan from Susan B. Cards. Today I'm going to be using the Simon Hurley Spellbinders BetterPress set. It's a press plate and die set called Spring Bunnies, and it enables you to scene build because usually you put the pieces of the BetterPress down on the system and you just have a set layout. But with this, you can cut out each of the pieces and use whatever you decide to use. So to begin with, I'm going to be using this new Simon Hurley Spellbinders embossing folder. It's a 3D embossing folder called Woven. And I'm going to be using the Scrapbookcom Mixed Media Paper pad. And it's A2 size. It's very heavyweight, and which allows it to take extra wet media. So I'm going to start with using this Lunar paste in the new Breakup blue color, which is a real pretty metallic baby blue. I'm just going to get a piece of scrap paper so I don't get the paste all over my glass mat. So this is how I start. I just like to swirl on a thin coat of the Lunar paste. I like to do some thin coats of the Lunar paste. Let that dry, and then I'm going to put another coat on. My first coat has dried, and now I'm going to apply a second coat over that. And now I'm going to let that one dry. So what I'm going to do next is a technique I've done quite a bit when I use the Lunar and Solar paste. And I'm going to put some Archival ink on the top of my embossing folder. The top I consider the side that has the print on it, but just the inside. So this would be the top, and I just flip it over. And you have to be sure your paste is dry. You don't want to get paste in all the crevices of your embossing folder. So this is dry. You can feel it. It's not tacky anymore. And it probably took about 15 minutes for it to dry after the second coat. So I am going to be taking the Archival ink, and this is in Hickory Smoke. And I have the set of these small ones. I just have them here. And it's a set of basic colors. I decided to use the gray instead of the black because I thought this time I don't want it to stand out too much, but I just want to be able to see the details of this pretty embossing folder. So I just rub it back and forth. And then I'm going to put this embossing folder, this panel. I'm going to put this panel in here and just line it up so it's straight. This one, it's easy to line up. Since there's horizontal lines, you can be sure that your panel is straight. I'm going to run this through the Big Shot, and I'll be right back. So here's what it looks like. I placed all the pieces from the Spring Bunny set onto my chase. That's a magnetic piece here, and all these pieces stay put because of the magnet, and these are metal. And then I just take the BetterPress ink and ink up all the pieces just with a slight twisting motion to get it all covered. So I'm not going to show you the entire thing, but this is the platen, the top plate, and I just tape the pieces on. So now you just place this on, and the magnets lock it exactly into place. I'm going to go run that through and I'll be right back. One of the things that I had to get used to when using the BetterPress was when you put it through the Big Shot or whatever machine you're using, you don't use the multi-purpose platform. You just put this in alone. And as you're running it through, you feel like it's not even working. You know, you don't feel any kind of tension. But every time I'm just so surprised when I take it off and you see how it is pressed. I could see a little bit on my basket that I didn't have good inking, but my sentiments this time came out great. So what I could do is just put a little bit more ink on that one piece and run it through. Okay, so I ran it back through. Carefully take this off. Now it's super dark. I'm going to let this dry. I lined up the dies onto my paper and I'm going to tape them in place. I'm using mitten tape. I have it in a 1-inch size and comes in pretty handy. Now I'm going to have to do this 2 times because some of my pieces are too close together. This might even be too close. And rather than run the risk of, you know, bending a die that's touching another die, I'm just going to do it twice. You know, this is a way I conserve paper by putting lots of pieces of the BetterPress on here, but then you have to run it through twice. So the paper, you know, it's a specialty paper for BetterPress, and I just don't want to waste it and use 2 pieces. I have tried using regular cardstock too. It works great. It works fine if you don't want to use the heavier, more expensive paper. This gives a very clean letterpress impression. So if it's for something special like an Easter card, you know, I would go ahead and use it. I'm going to start with this bunny, and I'm going to use these colors, E30, E31, and E23. And I just like to start in the center, and I'm going to try to avoid the black ink, just because it'll tend to smear a bit. So just trying to go in between those lines. I cut out the oval from using an old set of Spellbinders, Nestabilities. It's called the Classic Oval. And again, I'll link everything in my description underneath the video and on my blog, which is susanbcards.blogspot.com. And you can find everything you need there. And again, using the direct links really helps me out. But this is how it's basically going to look. I'm going to color everything. See which pieces I need to pop. I'm not going to pop everything. But with the Nestabilities, comes a smaller oval. And I decided just to die cut that with fun foam so that I could pop this oval, which looks like an egg, on my Easter card. And then I trimmed the background. It was A2 size, so I trimmed it so that I would have a border on my card. So it'll look like this with the oval on the front. But I'll let you see what all that looks like in a little bit. I put my card together. I glued the bunny in the back, the same thing with this extra flower. These two flowers are just right on top. The Happy Easter sentiment, I die cut just the outline out of white paper and layered that once. The basket, I die cut twice. You don't have to stamp it again. You just cut out the shape and just popped it up a little bit to give it a little dimension. If I did this over again, I would probably die cut the bunny just once, just to make it stand up a little bit from the background. And then I have these little eggs, and I just put some foam dots, or you can die cut the shape again and then layered a couple times. But I kind of like the way it looked. Just popped up a little extra. And that's pretty much it. I have some glossy accents I'm going to put on the eggs. And then I'm going to take a little bit of the Wink of Stella. I'm just going to put that on my flowers. And that's my card. I might take some gems. I'm not sure if I need it to put, if I could find some tiny ones to put around my sentiment, I will. Otherwise, I think it looks good plain. I also made this card using pretty much the same pieces, different bunny, but made in the same way. And now I have 2 Easter cards ready to go. Thank you for watching my video. I can be found on Instagram at Susan B. Cards, my blog, susanbcards.blogspot.com. And if you're inspired by my cards, if you would use my links, that would be quite helpful. They're listed below in the description and also on my blog. So thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.